Hi guys, Lisa Howell here from Perfect Form Physio and the Ballet Blog, and today I wanted to go over exactly how to use glue to strengthen the middle part of the shank of your pointe shoe if it starts to break down too quickly. Now, there are lots of different ways of doing this and lots of different products that you can use, but I've had a few students come in with pretty interesting variations. So I wanted to do a video to show you how I believe it can increase the life of your shoe, which can obviously help save you money in purchasing shoes before you actually need to. So I am a very big advocate of not using broken down or very soft pointe shoes. If your pointe shoe is too soft, you tend to sink down into it, and this can lead to a lot of injuries. So we don't want to do that. When we do get a new shoe, it's often quite stiff, and I do encourage students to break in the demi-pointe area and break in just in under the heel so that this helps position the foot really nicely on point right from the very beginning, and you can see our breaking in video for those techniques. However, if you have a very flexible foot, or if you tend to break down your shoes very quickly, if you're really working through them, often the shoe can start to break down in the middle, and this is when you go up, it will start collapsing. This puts a lot of strain through the tendons through the back of the ankle, and your toes can also crunch down into the shoe. Now often, and especially in the dancers that we see who are dancing full time, they're going through quite a few pairs of pointe shoes, some even every couple of days or once a week. It's a really good idea to see if we can preserve the life of these shoes a little bit longer to help save mum some money if she's purchasing those for you. So we wanted to go through this technique to strengthen the middle part of the shank of your shoe. Now I'm going to use the hot stuff glue. You can use jet glue, you can use shellac, you can use any kind of strengthening glue that is designed for pointe shoes. It doesn't really matter what you do, it's more about how you apply it. Now some students have come in with shellac on the sole of their shoe, and I don't think that this is actually the most effective way. I'd rather you didn't put it on the sole. This can become quite slippery if you do it, and it also doesn't look very nice facing the audience if you've got yellow or orange shellac on the sole of your shoe. The part that we want to do is this middle section. So if you peel back the inside fabric part of the shoe, you'll see that this shoe is quite broken, it's quite flexible. Now, we don't want to put the glue up where the heel break is. We want to keep that nice and mobile so that when you go on point, you still get a nice shape. And I also want you to be able to rise through the demi-pointe. So we don't do those two ends. We just want to do this middle section of the shoe that has become broken down too quickly. So you take the glue, and this glue is actually quite runny and you need to be quite careful about applying it. So you peel the sole of the fabric liner of the shoe up to the point just past where you're going to glue. Then take the glue and very gently just dribble it along the inside here. Now, different shoes are made of different materials. Some shoes will take this up immediately. Some it'll take a little while for it to soak in. This one, it soaks in quite quickly, which is great. If it tends not to soak in, sometimes you actually have to dribble it down on the inside. So if I turn the shoe slightly this way and actually dribble it down between the layers of the shank of the shoe, this can help. We need to do it very carefully, and also this glue is quite smelly, so you need to make sure you don't inhale terribly much. Also mind your fingers, it's very adhesive, it's like a super glue. So we put that on there and let it soak in for a little while, and I like to keep this part open as you do this. You can put it down straight away, but it will obviously adhere in very quickly. If you want to do this a couple of times, it's best to leave this part of the fabric pulled off while the glue actually soaks in. You can do a couple of coats at a time, so you may want to do 2 coats if it soaks in very quickly. If you do 1 coat and then you wear them for a little while, you can then go and put another coat on afterwards. So you can do this a few times. Once it's kind of set a little bit, then we can put this back on. And this glue is quite amazing, it actually gets a little bit warm. We can set that aside for a few minutes, and it happens pretty quickly. But actually, if I have a feel of the shoe already the middle section is much stronger, And so if I imagine that that foot was going onto point, you can see it's now held up in this middle part, but it still allows that nice C shape or L shape to come up underneath the heel. This makes it much more supportive to dance on, and it can really extend out the life of your shoe. So if you find that your shoes are breaking down too quickly, maybe look at investing in some of this. It's really not very expensive. I think it's about $15 for a bottle, and you can do about 3 pairs of shoes with that a couple of times each. Make sure not to put it too far down into the Debbie point or up into the heel. You do want to be able to work through the shoe. Also, if I have a student who's breaking down their shoes a lot, I like to look at their technique and make sure that they're not putting too much load through the shoe. So if you do feel like you're breaking down your shoes more quickly than you should be, do get your teacher to have a look at your technique. If you have any other questions, let us know. But I hope that this helps you get a little bit more life out of those point shoes and help save you some money from buying multiple pairs of shoes each year. Talk to you soon.